Oh, yeah, he didn't spend it
Yeah,
at
see,
all.
guys usually spent their money on leaves and stuff, big time.
I came out with 0.
Really?
0.
Yeah.
He just had it
We'll
go
get into
in.
the details, but it was 0.
Oh, yeah, well, you know.
Overseas,
Amazing.
I was in Manila, the only city that I was ever in. In New Guinea, I wasn't in anything. I had nowhere to spend my money, so I never collected it. And when I was in Manila, I didn't have any money to spend. So it all came to me at once. I never, wasn't really any occasion for me to use money.
Well, what a nest egg, though.
Yes.
Great
So
start.
now what we want to know,
What?
you have 60 years of marriage. We heard how you got married. 60 years later, what's one word of advice or wisdom, a word of wisdom that you would want to share about what makes a successful marriage? One word or two, I mean, whatever, you know what I'm saying. It's the fajitas.
One word?
You can do two. Just a piece
Not more than
a piece
two.
of wisdom or some wisdom about what you believe has made your marriage successful. And that will be passed on to future generations. What would you want to wish for your...
Let me tell you, in the beginning, right now I'm thinking of a word, well, I'll give you a little later. I'm not very proud of what kind of a Christian I was. Because I tried to make her over into the Christian I wanted to be. And that was a mistake. That was a big mistake.
I didn't realize that.
Well, I felt it in my heart and I knew I was wrong, and I would leave. Saturday mornings, get up early, I wouldn't have to work, but I'd go for long walks and pray, God, change me. Don't change Helen.
Wow.
Change me. And it took a while. And the word one comes to is respect. For where she was in her life as a newborn Christian. Well, I was a Christian maybe 39, 40, 41, 42, 33, 34, 45, 46, 7 years. And it was a kind of a Christian that was, if you didn't live in this box, you weren't in. It was a do or do not do. If you did, you're all right, you're accepted. If you don't, you're not in.
Yeah, but that's the way you were raised, Dad. I mean, that's all.
Yeah,
That's all you knew. That's the light that was given
And
to
that
you.
was not only,
And we were
not only
happy
you,
with
but that
it. We
was
didn't
typical.
realize it.
Yeah.
We were happy in it.
That was typical for a lot of people. I mean, Jan and I were talking about Roger Langenberg, and he, you know, same
But
thing.
we were
I
happy
mean, he
then
lived in
because
that
we went ahead, we did our thing. We
dictum. It was a dictum. He lived in
Well, you see, when I considered becoming a Christian, I thought that was my uppermost goal. Look what I'll have to give up. I love to dance. I danced with the big bands, Jackson Beach. I love to dance. That was not allowed in the church. I like movies. I went to movies. Are you crying?
I'm playing Tommy Dorsey.
He used to
And
like,
couldn't go to movies. Couldn't gate. We couldn't. And I thought all these things in my mind. I want to be a Christian, but can I give up these things?
yeah.
But as I told you many times before, I went forward and was willing to give it, and there was no problem with missing it at all. Oh, another thing we couldn't do is wear makeup. See, we couldn't wear makeup, so all that makeup.
Can I ask you a question
Yes.
about this? Was there ever a time in your life when you felt, okay, how do I word this? You gave things up, but was there ever a time in the life where you sensed that those were sinful things?
Thought them or what?
Sensed
Or
did you ever come to the conclusion for your own self that those were sinful things?
Movies and dancing.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. You know, maybe some of the movies, some of the things that you.
Yeah, okay.
But as far as the exercising and skating,
Yeah,
And,
and the dance.
well, dancing was because of being held close.
Yeah,
See, in those days, that was ballroom dancing. You
Right.
didn't do that away part dancing, and that was what's sinful about it, see?
yeah,
And, I guess, you know, I had to look at it that way, that was not considered for a Christian to do.
yeah. Wow.
So,
And you came to
it
that
was a
conclusion?
big change in
Yeah,
my life.
okay.
Big change. And I worked for, as I said, Northwest Buckle. They'd have the Christmas parties and they'd be dancing and I wouldn't. I'd be asked and I couldn't.
So far what I'm hearing is respect and don't try and change the other person. That would pretty much we recommend.
Oh, yes. Right.
What would you say, Mom? What would you
What-
add to Dad's pearl?
I know you won't agree with this.
Probably not.
You won't, because you've already not agreed with me. That whenever an argument wanted to come up between us, we might start it and I'd see that I wasn't going to get any place with it, even though in my heart I knew that I was right. I would
Listen.
immediately stop
And that
that.
made me mad.
I just stopped. I wouldn't argue.
She wouldn't
You know,
argue.
I think that is a key right there, because if one person isn't like that, then there's too much horsepower.
Well, that's the end of it, see?
Yeah.
But if you keep on going, it builds fire upon
Yeah,
fire.
there has to be somebody.
And you hurt each other and,
Do you remember Mom telling us to be the peacemaker?
Obviously, I
Yeah.
didn't learn that
Do you
lesson.
remember when we used to fight when the kids?
It's never too late to change.
Where did that voice come from?
Where did that voice come from? Who said that? Oh, no, no.
Wow.
That is a
This is
mouthful.
documented.
We had good times together. The first time that we went to a movie,
Ben-Hur.
Yeah, how did that change?
and
Because the
and,
topic was okay? Because of the content?
No.
I had
Still
gone to
wasn't
the
okay?
overseas. They'd have a
In the
movie every
height.
once in a
We
while
had to do it kind
in
of.
the jungle someplace, and they were good movies. Today they'd be called straight.
Yeah.
Now I had no feeling about that, whatever, knowing that the next day I was facing death. Here, we got in front of Ben-Hur and we looked around to see if there was any Christians we knew that knew us
No,
for guilt.
actually not in the movie, but when we came out, that might be walking by.
Sure.
On Broadway.
Did anybody ever say Christ hung out with sinners and spent all of his time?
Oh,
Was that ever a
Oh.
topic?
You would have been nailed to
Wow.
the tree if you
I
said
Or when
think
did you first remember hearing somebody?
Christ had long hair.
I think they preached about Christ going with the sinner.
Jesus.
With the sinner. But that didn't include us to do that.
It's only he can do that.
Tell us more about that theology.
The
No.
preaching was true. All this other stuff came from
Was that on Don
people
movie?
that were Christians. No.
That's funny.
We would listen to music, especially this one that you took us to see, Vicki and Dave.
David, what was the movie we saw with them?
I can't even think of the name of the concert. that we-
Gershwin.
George Gershwin?
George Gershwin.
Well,
We
that
love-
wasn't a movie, that was a
No, that's what he meant, the music.
We loved the
Symphony.
music, and one night we took it to church to play. We didn't have a record machine.
Oh, that was wild,
Took it
man.
to church to play the symphony
Rhapsody in Blue.
in the church, and the pastor walks in and hears it, and he shakes his head. That's not my kind
That's
of music.
classical music.
Not my
Classical
kind.
It's classical, but there was
pushing the envelope.
Yeah, it
for the
was.
times.
Wow.
There were discords and oh.
Anyway, that period changed with our lives. If we felt that we were doing wrong something, then we wouldn't do it. But if we didn't feel we were doing wrong, we felt blessed. And we're doing more serving kids. Being with kids at the school. We take them roller skating, swimming, what have you. Mom took them on a 100-mile hike. We took them on a 50-mile hike one time. And that was our life. And that was complete joy.
And these were the young people from church?
We did have...
What, Vicki?
What, these are the people from your church, the young people in your church.
Uh-huh.
Is this who you did these things with, or other young married couples? Was that your ministry when you were married then, first married? Working with young people?
They were very young people,
Okay.
yeah.
So that was your ministry together?
That was our next week.
That's when we moved to Pastor Jim's church, Hillsdale Community.
Well, that's where we moved, yeah.
And got really entrenched in the Sunday
Junior
school
high
and
first.
in youth work with Jim.
Yep, that's right.
Are there any more questions so we can end this session?
It's a madman world.
Well,
What's your favorite memory together?
Oh, good question.
Favorite memory
Who's your
together?
favorite kid?
Who's your favorite kid?
That's a
Good
good
one, Aaron.
In the matter of children, I love children. And when I was a young person, I'd sit in the back of the church and I'd go like this for the little ones to come so I could hold them. I was just, you know, a teenager. I was like Rachel.
It's like Rachel.
I like kids. In our first years, we weren't having any kids. And I said, Lord, you know how much I love children. Am I not going to be having children? And I thought, you know, when you were married a year then, you're supposed to start having a family. That was, then they'd say, well, when are you going to start your family? And here we were trying to have a family. Did that hurt or what?
Yeah.
That hurt. So then somehow I had a miscarriage. I think from going into icy water during the time of month I shouldn't have been doing. And anyway, I was in the hospital and being treated for that. And the lady next to me saw that I had tears. I thought maybe I might have been pregnant. She said, don't you worry, you're going to have plenty of children. And I thought, that's really reassuring. I sure hope it's true.
no, I
And
can't
it was
hear
true.
you.
The lady that was next to us at the hospital said, you're going to have plenty of children, don't you worry about it. And so with each child, we were so wonderfully blessed. And to have exactly what I dreamed about in high school. I wanted 2 boys and 2 girls. I wanted the boys first and then the girls. Honestly, that's my honest, true thought as I was maybe a junior or a senior if I ever got married. That's the kind of family I'd like. You know why? So that each one would have a brother and a sister. And God answered that and honored that, and we got the
For
4.
Mark and Heather's sake, I was found that I could not have children.
I think we told them about that.
I told David this, I don't think I told the rest of you
Yeah.
this.
It was with Matt and Katie that we told.
And they determined why. They sent me to a specialist that was performing some experiments. And he had Mother give me shots. What was it? Once a day?
I don't know whether
It was once a day, and it was
What did he say?
pregnant. It was pregnant.
That's gonna stick with us forever.
The only problem is it's an inside joke.
David, be quiet, David, be quiet. It was pregnant
Horse piss.
mare's
Mare's
serum.
Sir.
He was what?
If you can
Sir,
believe this,
Mayor, sir.
that they were shooting me with. And
Wow.
every month they would test me to see whether the sperm was living or dying. They were dying.
It's because the malaria that he had.
Malaria and dengue fever, he got
I
in the
had-
service that killed.
High
all of them.
fever, they do that,
Bad
they do
high
with
fever,
spirochetes
I
in
had high fevers overseas.
That
and,
explains
They
why
attach
we're all-
themselves to the cells.
Anyway,
You know, he's.
that happened for a period of time, and one day he said, go. And boy, the joy in her heart when she found out that she was pregnant. What a joy
Yeah.
it was to us.